What's up, guys? So even though launching a private practice can sound pretty glamorous in some ways, it can be also quite daunting to invite our loved ones' support when we're embarking on a completely unknown business venture. So in today's video, I share with you my top tips for how to rally your loved ones' support when you're launching your private practice. Often it's those who are closest to us who have the most difficulty. Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. Whether it's our significant other, our friends, our parents, or any other important people in our lives, often it's those who are closest to us who have the most trouble being supportive of a move towards private practice. And to be fair to them, they are likely genuinely concerned for our well-being and maybe some of their own well-being as well. How can they be so sure that this endeavor is going to be successful? I mean, what happens if you launch this practice and after 6 months or a year, the whole thing totally flops and then you're sitting on a giant pile of debt? And let's be honest, oftentimes a lot of our loved ones' concerns parallel some of our very own fears about launching our own private practice. The good news is many of the tips in this video serve a dual purpose of helping get your loved ones on board while also helping soothe some of your fears if you're having them as well. So here are my top tips to help get your loved ones on board with private practice and to set you up for success as well. Tip number 1, have a business plan. I can't recommend this highly enough. And if this sounds like a scary concept to you, it doesn't have to be. I have an entire video covering the basics of starting a business plan, and I also cover it in depth in my upcoming e-course. If you want to stay tuned about my e-course when it launches, there's a link in the description box and you can sign up and I'll send you an email when it's coming out. Tip number 2, ease into it. Though this doesn't have to be true for everyone, for most people it's best to ease into private practice part-time, and this way you're just subletting an office and your overhead costs are much lower than if you dove in full-time. It opens up options for you to make sure it's a stable transition. Maybe you keep your full-time job or another part-time job while you're ramping things up, and so things are a little bit more financially stable. Tip number 3, have an exit plan. Now, I know nobody likes to talk about this, but it is so helpful to know what you're gonna do if this doesn't pan out the way you wanted. And it's not about being a downer, but really setting yourself up for success so that you can foresee when to plan to pull away or back out completely if it's just not working. If it's not working for you, it's okay to pull the plug. And better yet, to have an idea of when you'll do that before you've even started. And once you have all these details in place, be sure to share them with your loved ones. Most of the time, this is enough information to calm their fears as well as some of yours as well. If you have joint finances with your partner, then it might also be helpful to develop some parts of this plan together, since if you go down, your partner kind of goes down with you. And that might help the two of you feel well supported once you've sat down and gone through these items together. As an example, for me, the 2 big wins to getting my spreadsheet-loving husband on board with launching private practice were, 1, we had things set up so that I wouldn't lose any money even if the whole endeavor totally tanked. And we also set a 6-month deadline with an expectation of how much profit I should be making by those 6 months. And if I didn't reach that goal, then we'd reassess and I'd either dial back or exit completely. Doing all of this in advance really made it a lot easier for my husband to get on board, and we repeated this structure both when I launched part-time initially and when I jumped from part-time to full-time private practice. I hope you found these tips helpful for rallying the support of your loved ones when you're launching your private practice. Let me know in the comments section if there's any tips you would add for how you've gotten your loved ones support. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well. It can really set you up for success to know what your metrics are for you've been able to rally your loved one's support as well. And